Oh my god. Season finale, WandaVision. Let's go. Oh my god, I don't like the chug beers. Oh. What's going on, guys? Welcome. Oh my goodness. It's episode 51 of Geekin and Drinking. Woo. I'm Eddie.
Steven.
So, oh my god. Don't chug beers much often, but when I do, I almost die. Hey guys. Oh shit.
Damn.
Welcome. And I mean, shit. We're just fucking, having fun today. Yeah, it's an F-bomb pretty early on. Who cares? But oh man, that beer really got me, man.
Yeah, you sound totally out of breath, man. And didn't do with it.
Oh my god. I don't really chug beers. Like, I don't, like, it takes a lot out of me. It takes a lot out of me, man. But what I was drinking, chugging was the Power and Light from Independence. But that's not the beer we're having on the show today. We are having a beer from Independence Brewing Company in Austin, Texas. And I know we've tried different variations of this beer. Do you remember which ones they were? Can you say the name of the beer for the fine people at home?
Well, one of the first ones we tried was, and they're all called the Red Bud. So one of the first ones we tried was the regular Red Bud, which is a Berliner Weizen, and then the second one we tried was the pickle, or I don't want to say pickle,
it was
cucumber.
Like
cucumber.
Yes, sir.
And then after that was passion fruit.
Yeah, passion fruit. And then it was the raspberry strawberry. Which that one I think was like hands down probably one of the best. The cucumber one was super refreshing. I remember we drank that in the summer. The one we have here today is a new version of it in a nice, beautiful purple can. Look at the color that it comes out looking like. And it is a Red Bud, blueberry, ahi, lime. I don't know. Ahi.
I say it. It is a Red Bud blueberry.
Yeah, blueberry. And see, I'm just reading this off of their Instagram. Blueberry, ahi, lime, Red Bud. You can expect bold bursts of blueberry and ahi. Delight with the perfect squeeze of lime to round it out. Brewed with white wheat, pilsen oats, flaked barley, Columbus, and Amarillo hops. Whatever, It's,
oh my god! Wow!
Look at the color.
Wow!
I love that color.
That is a beer.
Ooh.
It really gets you. If you're into some sour beers, this one will really get you.
I won't be chugging that anytime soon. That's good though. I like it. I mean, for it being a sour beer, the other ones were pretty sour. Like, I think the one that complemented each other well good was the strawberry and raspberry one. But
It had a really good tartness to it. Tart.
Every time I think of the word tart, I always say tart, but then like it reminds me of what's his name from Breaking Bad? Tight.
Tuco.
Yeah, dude. I remember
tight.
I remember watching it and he just starts punching at you. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my god, this dude is crazy.
When he fucking sniffs the meth.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh yeah, tight.
I was like, what? I never got far in that show. Like, I really hate that I never like watched it completely through.
I actually finished the whole series. I've only really seen everything once. I never really tried to go back to look at it. And at that, I didn't even see the
El Camino.
The El Camino, which was the movie spinoff that was focused on
Jesse Pinkman.
Jesse Pinkman, Aaron Paul's character. So, whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean it's not a good show. That's probably a lot of people's favorite show, as far as like a drama show, whatever. But I don't know, whatever. But dude, it's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah, dude, it is Friday because we just got the last episode of WandaVision. Oh my God. Wanda versus Harkness.
I didn't.
I was hoping you didn't notice that. I did that on purpose.
I thought you had purple for the beer and that for the other beer. Anyway, yeah, it's Friday, so we got the season finale of WandaVision, and this episode is gonna be just merely focused on WandaVision. Like, we're gonna just kind of go back to the season, talk about these last 2 episodes, of course. Any theories that we had along the way, whether or not they came true or not. Majority didn't. But
I think only one did.
Yeah, and like I said,
and I know one that didn't, that you're happy about.
Well, like, we actually this morning when before you went to work, I woke up so I could watch it with you. Half asleep watching it, cool, like it. I didn't see I didn't see it again for the rest of the day until just rewatched it 30 minutes ago. And yeah, I mean, it's the season finale. But the last time we were on the show, we were talking about episode
7.
7, yeah, 7. Because since then we've had 2 episodes. Probably one of the best episodes that there ever was. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, episode 8 of WandaVision. Oh my God. But yeah, so this episode is gonna just be focused on WandaVision. So hopefully you guys at home have been watching. If you haven't watched, hopefully you plan on watching it, because now it's all there. You could just stream it, nonstop and all in one sitting. Binging it. That's the word I was looking for. You could binge it. And yeah, so that's what we're gonna talk about. So yeah, deal with it.
Yeah. Clean my glasses. Shut up.
So, like I said, last time we were on here, we talked about episode 7, which was the Halloween episode.
No, it was the Modern Family style episode.
Oh, okay, so it was the one after Halloween. Yeah. The Modern Family kind of spin-off was the one that we yeah. I can't even fathom what are words.
I know, it's just because right now I got so much in my head that
I know,
I'm trying to remember.
Because we just watched the last one again. I'm just like, and
I
I'm
have
trying
so much to say about the last 2 episodes,
but I don't want to skip over.
Yeah,
episode
I know.
8, man, that shit. Ooh,
no,
my God, my heart. Oh my God, close the tabs. Pornhub.
No, not that.
No, don't look at my phone.
Yeah. So yes. To confirm, episode 7 was the mockumentary style, like Modern Family style shooting, which was after the Halloween episodes, which I feel was I think, I know you said it was kind of like a filler episode, but I felt it was one of the best episodes.
The Halloween one.
I don't know why I just like. I guess for me, I like it because it was the 90s version of the show. Mm-hmm. And obviously from the one they used from the 90s was Malcolm in the Middle.
Right, yeah.
And I love Malcolm in the Middle. Malcolm in the Middle was one of my favorite shows, growing up.
Thanks.
So
Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad comes full circle.
There you go. Full circle, bro.
Yeah, so, we had that episode, and then I remember that episode ended with the whole reveal that, it wasn't even that big of a review. I mean, that Agnes is Agnetha Harkness.
Let's just go through the whole thing. We'll fast forward real quick through like the first 6 or 7 of them. But because we decided this episode is just strictly dedicated to WandaVision.
Yeah. So we might be a lot of jumping around.
Let's run through the whole thing. We got the first 2 episodes, which were really, really good. I think we had both agreed. I think we're glad we got the first 2 episodes because they were both the modern, the old school sitcom, 50s and 60s style.
Dick Van Dyke Show.
Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched.
Bewitched, yeah.
And I'm really happy we got the 2 episodes because if it was just 1, I would have been like, wait, what?
Yeah, and not only that, I mean, I don't know about you. I can only do so much of that type of sitcom, and I obviously like I didn't grow up on that at all, and I know you didn't. I mean, way before you're younger, but like it's just like I don't know, man.
See, I didn't grow up like with obviously Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched and stuff like that, but
I thought Bewitched was that Will Ferrell movie.
It was terrible with Nicole Kidman. Yeah. Also. But anyways, not that I grew up with them. When they were on TV, I saw them when they were on TV, but as in syndication. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of I was a little familiar with it, but was never really like all like super. They would just play random episodes. So it was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember they come on at Nick at Night sometimes. I'm like, no.
I remember our grandmother.
Time to go to sleep.
Our grandmother loved I Love Lucy, so I would watch a lot of I Love Lucy.
I do love Lucy. But she does have a lot of explaining to do, though. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Wanda has a lot of explaining to
do. Yeah, so we got the first episodes, and like you said, it's better that we got it that way. And even those 2 episodes, like for what they were, like that old school, sitcom, like they really grabbed you when they need to grab you. Like not only with like your curiosity, but like just the way the show transition, because like we have that that kind of small format of an old TV screen, and then like when something serious happens, you see like it just kind of go into like that modern type of widescreen format, and then we have obviously we have the giant ass big speakers in the living room, so you hear the little rumbling in the score. You're like
almost even like the static added into it.
Yeah, and then like it just kind of adds to that. So I'm just like, oh man. So yeah, like those 2 first episodes, what's it called? Like they were what they were, and then they grabbed your attention.
I just wanted to bring those 2 up because obviously we get our introduction to Wanda and Vision. New to the town, recently married, blah blah blah. But we also get an introduction to another character that throughout the season becomes another main character of the show, Agnes. Mm-hmm. Who just randomly shows up. It's like,
dude, and like talk about worst kept secret in the world. At those first episodes, everybody was already like, Agnes, come on now, that's Agatha Harkness. Like how I
even say it was even before the show's premiered. When we got the trailer, we're like, and they said who her name was.
Yeah,
and it's like Agnes, like, and there was already these theories like that sounds closely, to Agatha Harkness, who was the mentor to Scarlet Witch in the comics and blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, yeah, so. In that, everyone, was, oh, we knew it, but then was like, okay, so there's got to be something bigger than this. And so we go on.
We progress. And so, yeah, and they at the end of episode 2, they do progress into the 70s era, kind of like Brady Bunch.
I think that was the worst.
Really?
I did not like it.
That was the one where she had the babies, no?
Yes.
Yeah, because she was pregnant by the end of the second one, and she has... babies.
And then everything goes into color.
Yeah. And then, like they have the babies, and then like that's when things start kind of not no. I take that back. She didn't have the babies yet. She was pregnant, and she kept getting like, I guess, bigger and bigger by the hours of the day.
The minutes.
Yeah, and it wasn't until the end of the episode is when she had the kids, because that's when Monica, Geraldine's character kind of comes in, and then the episode after that, episode 4, is when we get introduced to who Geraldine and everything going on outside of this anomaly that Wanda's created.
Yeah, because you get like some other awkward things that were going on in the first 3 episodes, like in the first one, not too much went on other than that. You get Vision's boss choking on chicken, and he has to use his powers or whatever.
It's kind of like a glitch, because like even like your vibe is like stop, like okay, you guys stop.
Then we get the commercial where with the toaster and the beeping.
Yeah, which at first that wasn't like when the first episodes came out. The commercials. I mean, for me, it wasn't until I got the commercial for episode 2 was when I was like, oh, these mean something. I thought it was just like a just like a commercial she watched when she was younger, and Stark being the name, the conglomerate that he is, like, it happened just to make toasters too, like, so like, but we got the commercial, and then, even then, like, I didn't notice that the light was blinking red. I was like, I just didn't notice.
At first it wasn't. It didn't start blinking red until the end of the commercial, when it snaps back and it gives you the wide version of the toaster.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, see, said I didn't even notice that, and people were like, "Oh, it blinked red." I'm like, "It did? Oh yeah, definitely."
Yeah. And then in the second episode, another glitch, a few glitches that happened was Wanda started hearing a voice over the radio. Mm-hmm. Hey Wanda, who, can you hear me? Who's doing this to you? Blah blah blah.
And then she gets that awkward moment with Dottie.
Yeah, that was weird. Set. Oh. No. And then also in episode 2, one of the first things that was a glitch was the little helicopter.
Yeah,
the little toy helicopter, but it was in color.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode was the man coming out of the sewage drain in a bee. What do you call it?
Oh, like a beekeeper's outfit.
Yeah, a beekeeper's outfit.
And then like she's just like, nah, and then just kind of like rewinds it back to like a scene that was already happened before, and it just kind of goes into something else.
And then that's when she, she's pregnant, and then
that's when people were like, oh shit,
and like all of a sudden everything starts changing from black and white to color. So,
but like when she was like, no, like people were like, oh shit, like she's in control. I mean, like think about it now. It's like, oh, silly kids.
And then jump into episode 3 real quick. Then she's, full preggers. She's throughout the episode just keeps, getting bigger and bigger through every trimester,
mm-hmm.
like super quick. And then, Geraldine's character comes in, which, she was featured in the second one, but wasn't like heavily in it.
Yeah.
And this one, she mentioned stuff and Pietro.
Remind me, where was Vision this episode?
In 3?
Yeah. I know at the end he goes to go get the doctor, and that's where he's at. And then and then he brings the doc. And then he that's when he talks to Agnes and the neighbor when he starts glitching. He's like cutting the wall and shit.
Yeah.
But like, where was he before that? Was he just working? I'm trying to think. I don't fucking remember. But for majority of the show, because remember, like, she's in the house and she's trying to hide her pregnancy from Geraldine, and like, so it's just like, where was Vision when that was happening?
Okay, when that was happening, she was going into labor at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she was trying
with the stork and all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's what she was trying to hide, because every time she had a contraction, something happened. Like either her coat changed, or something went off or something like that. And in that point, Vision's running to go get the doctor.
Yeah.
So that's what we're
yeah. And the thing is with this show, like, because a lot of people are like, okay, like, is this gonna be like every episode a different decade of sitcom, sitcom TV? But no, like episode 4 comes and we get like probably one of the greatest opening scenes to any Marvel, Marvel, I guess.
Any Marvel show?
Yeah, yeah, because that's when we get like.
I guess you could say any Marvel show, because some of the shows we had from Marvel that connect into this was like
Daredevil.
The Netflix Marvel shows, the Daredevil, Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't heavily tie in, they were
what they call it, the incident.
Yeah.
Shut up, bro.
Incident. And then, like, I remember in like one episode of Daredevil, we had to hide in buildings because the Hammer of Gods can come in and this and that. It's like, Okay, obviously he's talking about Thor.
Chill out, calm down, bro. Just call him Thor.
But yes, we got one of the best openings that you can get. I mean, oh my god!
And the thing is, like, episode 4 was so good because not only, like I said, it gave us a glimpse. It gave us more context to what's going on, as far as like what's going on outside the hex, and like, but it like the way it was so like simultaneously played out with episodes 1 to 3, like everything they were figuring out in episode 4, like we were already the same way, like wait what, like they're kind of like dissecting the same things, what happened to her accent, like all that stuff. So and then of course, like I said, episode 3 was when she mentions Ultron at the end, right?
Ultron, and because after Wanda has the babies, they're twins. They're twins, and she mentions to
Geraldine,
to Monica Rambeau, that she was a twin.
Pietro.
And that who said tells her who brother's name and everything.
And she's all like, he got killed by Ultron, and
he's like,
and then if you notice in that single scene when she mentioned Ultron, that's that same again. The thing I love that Marvel MCU does is that, like, just for a brief second you hear the score from Age of Ultron, like I'm like, oh shit, finally someone mentioned Ultron again. I mean, they mentioned Ultron, but finally someone mentions Pietro, and then like kind of like, oh yeah, I know he died by Ultron. She's like, what? What'd you say? And then obviously she throws Geraldine out.
Yeah.
But
we don't find that out till.
Well, no, that happened at the last go. Oh yeah, because she's just like, oh, she had to go, like she was just gone. Yeah, we find out the next one. Yeah, but yeah. So then like I said, we get like just more context. Episode 4 was just like, okay, like
pretty much like chaos.
Like let's put the pieces together, and like that's kind of what they did for us, like, and that's when a lot of theories started like popping up, like, oh, like who's this? Oh, who's that? Or like, oh, what does this mean? Like, especially when they were getting a count of all the residents in Westview, and they had like their names and their IDs. And
their real names.
The two people that didn't have it was Agnes and Dottie, which, but like, so like right at the back, people were like, oh, like speculating, like, so like, and I'll say it before, and I'll say it again over and over and over. This whole week to week thing is genius, but I hate it. It's genius because it gets people talking. It creates speculation and like just discussion in general, and like a good discussion because like people were excited about this. But yeah, just having to wait a whole week, like, because me and you wake up, like, the first thing we do is on Friday morning is turn on WandaVision.
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, that was 30 minutes. What else?
Sometimes some of them were like only 25, 26 minutes.
What do I do with the rest of my week?
Weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do now. What do I do with my hands?
Like ever since WandaVision came out, like my I guess weekly routine would be Friday. They get the episode, watch it. Then you come from work, watch it again, and then throughout the day, I'm watching like a bunch of YouTube reactors that I watch, on YouTube. I mean,
watch it on YouTube,
and so I would watch their reactions and like kind of like get whatever they talk about, and then like there was a couple of podcasts that dropped throughout the week, like Geek Buddies. It's with John Rocco. I cannot recommend that podcast enough because they like get into some crazy theories in that show, but they're like they have the knowledge to back it up. Like they're like, well, this isn't, but like they're super extreme to the point where like they'll put on the audio description, like descriptive, for like for blind people, how they have the audio descriptive. They'll put that on, just to like. Because I think in the
wasn't there too something like that they even put like the subtitles in Spanish.
Yeah, and like whenever she said to my engineer, like it referred to them in a female, I think, or I forgot which one it was, but it was obviously Spanish is bilingual, so it's like not bilingual, but you know what I'm saying, but like his and hers, all that stuff, but
gender.
Yeah, so like yeah, and this is like really, but yeah, that's been like my routine, and it's just been fun, like. And I like also too like I think one thing that's I guess not all that great. I mean, it is what it is to each person, but like people start getting all fucking mad and shit whenever like their theories or their whatever they're thinking is gonna happen doesn't happen. They're
It's like, come on, people. Marvel's not gonna bend to your will, brah. I mean, they've been doing this for over 10 years already,
and I think
they've had shit laid out since the beginning, man.
And I think especially one character in particular, we'll get to it later. They really like, we got you there. You know, you thought for a second, you jerked. Let's go to break.
I hate you. Yeah, I'm gonna need another refill. So okay. We'll be right back. Hey guys. And we are back.
Episode 51, Geekin Drinkin. Oh, exhausted.
He tried chugging again.
Yeah, no, it's like we mentioned earlier, this episode is completely focused. It's basically me and Steven sitting here drinking, talking about WandaVision.
And all the theories that were out there and how a lot of them got debunked.
It's just like, I hate to have that reaction, but I'm just like, we'll get to it. You know, but like,
one thing I do want to say though, throughout the whole season of this show, I mean, despite how a lot of things turned out, especially with the final season, it was such a good show.
Hell yeah! Like I think
really good.
However you may feel coming out of the last episode, whether you like it, whether you're not, whether you feel satisfied, whether you don't, like you can't dismiss the fact that this was a great show.
And not only that, but especially that they were focusing on two characters that have not even yet gotten their own movies. They were pretty much secondary characters.
Yeah, like they're
in all the other movies.
Yeah, they exactly were that. They were both introduced in the same movie. They well, technically, I guess you can't. I mean, Jarvis, whatever, but Vision, the character of Vision, we were both introduced in Age of
Some people didn't even know that. They're like, those Jarvis is like, yeah.
I sounds just like
Come on, Age of Ultron. Sure.
Like, yeah, and like they've always just kind of been like that. See, but the thing is though, like when I think about Wanda and Vision, they were a main key point in Infinity War, but not a lot of people noticed that because.
Well, she was also a main key point in Age of Ultron, in the fact that she was trying to help Ultron tear the Avengers apart with her powers.
Yeah, and then like I said, like because in Infinity War, like obviously they're after all the stones, and you know one of the stones is obviously in Vision's head, so like majority of the movie is them on the run trying to figure out what the hell to do with Vision so Thanos doesn't get the damn stone. You know, that's why they end up on Wakanda, you know. And then like the whole last battle scene with Thanos and the Avengers on Wakanda, he's fighting to get to Vision, and who's standing between him and Vision is Wanda. Like, and it's just like, dude, like give her the credit she deserves, you know, like
she in both Infinity War and Endgame, she held her own. She really held her own. Which was funny because that's even brought up in the show. Mm-hmm. And then among her and another character,
Captain Marvel, like shut up, we're not talking about her. Just get your own show. Yeah, so like, and you know, how's that smell? That looks dirty. So what is it? What are you drinking? I know you. Ooh. Where is that from? What is it? Ooh.
The tribe has spoken. So this is a
limited
release from Roadmap Brewing here in San Antonio, Texas. It's called The Tribe Has Spoken. It's a raspberry pink
guava.
Yeah, and which is they're calling it a tropical sour. I can maybe agree with that. The sourness is not as sour as the red bud there, but it's definitely got a good crisp taste to it, which is most of Ghosts and sour beers.
Did you say red bud?
Red bud.
Oh,
and whatever. And God damn, you just made me.
Sorry.
Like most Ghost and kind of Benin or Benar beers, which are kind of like your sourness beers, have a really good crisp taste. This one has a really good crisp taste to it. I'm really enjoying it. Especially for me, I love eating raspberries. Raspberries are like one of my favorites. So it's really good. The other one was blueberries.
Oh, we'll find it right now.
No. The red bud.
Yeah, it's blueberry and lime, all that stuff. I think that's why the sour kind of like really like picks up at the end. It's that.
I mean, again, I'm not gonna lie. The red bud's really good. It's really refreshing. And although no offense, but I could tone down on the lime just a little.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got 2 packs of it though.
Hey, I'll still drink it. So again, look, the red and the purple.
Yes, and I'm gonna pour here when I finish this one. But this is same thing. The tribe has spoken. It's tropical sour. It's a kettle sour from Roadmap. This one though is as opposed to Stevens, that's with raspberry and pink guava. This one is blackberry and black currant. I don't know how you say that. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
And this one's the raspberry one's sitting at a 5.8 APV. That's pretty good for a
setup sour.
For a sour.
Yeah, this one's at 5.82. This one,
I think like at 4.
4.6.
Yep. Which is pretty.
You must be this tall to ride.
That's a good one. Which most kind of sours like that are and in that low percentage.
I still remember not the first sour I ever had, but like when I started realizing that I could drink sours was the Cosmic Butterfly from Thirsty Planet. Had that beautiful purple light, but it was like 3% alcohol.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though. I mean, I like that beer. It was pretty cool. I like the.
We need to get that one again.
I've seen it at a couple stores.
Yeah, I've seen it too. The same we need to get it again. All right, so going back to WandaVision. Oh my God, such an amazing show. I love it. Hey, I love it.
I don't know.
Hey, who would have known, right? Not me.
So, okay, I talked about episode 4, how that was kind of like a different perspective, a format of what they were doing away from the sitcoms. Now we're episode.
We get our official introduction of Monica Rambeau, and we get a return of 2 characters. One in Agent
Jimmy Woo.
FBI agent Jimmy Woo, played by Randall Park. Card trick. He nailed it. I got that reference. And we get the return of Darcy Lewis, also played by Kat Dennings, who was who was played by Kat Dennings, who was also featured in the Thor movies. Thor.
And Thor: The Dark World.
The first 2 Thors.
That's a bad title. The Dark World. Like,
dude, I'm not gonna lie. I went back to watch The Dark World. It's actually really good for what I remember. How I didn't like it at first.
I need to watch it.
And it's really good. And one of the parts, it's not a funny scene, but what's funny about it is because it reminded me of a part that they do in Ragnarok. When he's doing the play for the dedication play for Loki, and in the background you hear the music.
Oh, it's the same music.
So it's the same music.
Yes.
I was like, that sounds so familiar, and I was like,
dude, they had like 3. So that like that, man. Like, and same thing with Thor Ragnarok, when him and when Thor and Hulk are fighting in the arena.
Yeah, the arena.
Yeah, the arena, and Thor tries to calm him down. Like he says a line to him like, "Sun's getting real low, Banner," because that was the same line that Black Widow would use on him.
Well,
like,
he says big guy.
Yeah, sun's getting real low, big light, and he like puts his hand out and like. The same music that happened in that scene with him and with the Hulk and Black Widow. It's the same music.
Age of Ultron.
But then he just like smacks him around.
It's funny because he's all like, and then all of a sudden, he grabs him.
I love attention to detail like that. Like I love callbacks, especially with music. Like, oh my god, I love it so much. So
in which we got callbacks in WandaVision, with you said earlier, with Ultron from Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
But yeah, so get our introduction of Monica Rambeau, and then returning characters Jimmy Woo and Darcy Lewis, who are trying to figure out what's going on. We get an introduction to another new character in Hayward. What was his name?
I just remember as Director Hayward.
And we finally get our official introduction to Sword, who is like another version of Shield.
Yeah.
So.
At some point, I'm just like, okay, how many more like fucking battle armor abbreviations are him with Sword, Shield? Like fucking what? Like armor? I don't know.
Armor.
Like, can we just not? Like they don't work.
What would be another funny one? You got Shield, you got Sword,
helmet,
chest plate,
yeah, jock strap. I don't know, but like, yeah. So I mean, and I was like nothing. Like, okay, I get it. Like, I'm just like, how many like top secret organizations are there? Like, and which one is the most superior? Because, like, Sword. In the show stands for Sentient Weapons Operation, and god damn it, fuck.
Don't ask me, I don't remember.
I forgot what the R stands for, but the D is department. Fuck. Okay, anyway, but research.
Got it, nailed it. Chug. There you go. Ooh. Backwash. Gross.
Oh, that lime. Who put the lime in that coconut? Because I don't like it.
I'm telling you, man, that lime is a little overpowering, but it's a damn good beer.
Continue.
So we get the the introduction of those, and then
same fucking color.
The end of of that episode, which was episode 4. Is when we get the shot of Monica Rambeau being shot out of the hex.
Yeah. But not only that, like, I'm trying to think.
So pretty much, I'm just gonna call it the border surrounding the hex. The wall, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty much. How can I explain it? It's its own power. It's got.
Well, yeah, like it's the barriers of the walls give off this energy that they can't really figure out what it is. All they know is that it gives out these broadcast frequencies, which is how they're able to see. Like like the episodes, like the WandaVision show that they're watching, so yeah, like those the walls, because like I said, okay, fine, whatever, we're in spoilers. Like we know that Wanda, like, it was the one that has made these borders, so like it gives off this energy, and anything that passes through it, it's either denied or not, and there's a specific element that I guess that led to go into the wall, which is ultimately grief.
And not only that, but loss. Once you go through that wall, you pretty much change to whatever Wanda is got for that.
Yeah. Like, and we find out later that that's just another one of these spells that she's doing unconsciously, like changing like a for instance, like a bulletproof vest into these slacks that she was wearing that there ends up they're being they're Kevlar because it's just a bulletproof vest, but she changed it. It's just you have to be there.
You have to be there. You have to.
But like yeah, so like that's when Monica getting pushed through that barrier, and Darcy even says it like in a later episode or the next episode, I believe she's like your whole molecular like it's all being rearranged, like like we can't get blood samples, the x-rays aren't showing up, like what the fuck is going on with you? And she's just whatever, I don't know, I don't like doctors, but so that is probably one of the best payoffs of this show, because for those of you who don't know who Monica Rambeau is, if you've seen Captain Marvel, then you've seen Monica Rambeau, because Captain Marvel has her friend Maria Rambeau, who was her like co-pilot, her sister in arms, and she even comes out in the movie, and she has a little girl, and that's Monica. So and in the comics, Monica Rambeau's character, like I said, in the comics, eventually gains super abilities, and she's going by many names like Photon.
She even takes on the name of Captain Marvel, I think.
Yeah, like Captain Marvel. I forgot what the other name was.
Because in reality, too, Captain Marvel was Miss Marvel.
Yeah. There's so many Marvels, and
and then there was
Shazam.
Then there was Marvel.
So, God damn it, Monica Rambeau going through the barriers, kind of like started getting everybody's gears turned, like, oh shit, like something's happened to her, like it's just how she gets her powers, this and that.
Like, is she finally gonna, are we finally gonna get another new superhero?
And we did.
Yeah, pretty much. You could just say that straight up. Yeah, we did. All right.
And honestly, like again, like that scene, like where it is in a later episode where she's trying to go back into Westview, and like the vehicle she's driving just not letting her. So she's like, you know what, I can do it. Like, because like again, she has that the same thing that Wanda's suffering from. She's suffering from, as far as loss and grief, all that stuff, like, and so that's kind of like why she's able to just not so much easily walk through, but make her way in through it, because she has that extra thing to her. And then that whole sequence of just like young Monica, then you hear Maria, then you hear Captain Marvel, and just like, and then she just kind of snaps into it, and her fucking eyes start glowing blue, and it's like, oh shit. And then she does a superhero landing, which is awesome.
Superhero landing. It's hard on the knees. And yeah, but I mean, yeah, so again, we're gonna skip forward. We're trying to just go as forward as we can.
It's the same beer. No, honestly, this is not as limey as a homeboy over there, but same beer. It's good though. Keep it up.
It's good. It's all right. Good. Okay.
Wish I had that one over there. My Power and Light. We'll get a Michelob.
Dude, man, my brain is just so rambling right now. I was like, oh my god, I just like don't know where to start, where to end, where to with this show, dude. There's just so much, dude. I mean, god damn.
What? Okay.
What else can?
Without going into the last two episodes, because we're gonna do that right now, and obviously we've gone through all the other episodes in our past episodes. Our episodes. Go check that out. So let's kind of like, what were some I guess expectations or theories that you had going in, at least one that you had going into these last two episodes?
Okay, so at the end of episode, was it 5? Is that the 80s one? And then 6 was the Halloween 90s one. We get Pietro. Mm-hmm. We get Wanda's brother. But what's weird about it is that she sees him, she knows it's her brother, but knows that it's also not her brother. and okay, whatever. So one of my expectations was that okay, I had already knew because I had been reading stuff too. That Evan Peters had already signed on to do WandaVision, and as we know too, he also played Quicksilver, which was also played by Aaron Taylor Johnson in Ultron, but Evan Peters played it in the X-Men movies.
Three of them, right? Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, and Dark Phoenix. Yeah. And in which, they are the same character, or similar, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Just different
universes. And at the time, that's when X-Men, Fox still owned X-Men before Disney,
Wait,
took
Fox
over.
Isn't around anymore? What?
Dude, didn't you watch our show? We talked about this.
I had stock in them.
So that was one of the big theories that
sorry to sidetrack you, but that reminded me of Rafi from the League. Oh my God, what's Michael Jackson gonna think? Wait, Whitney's dead? Oh my God, what's Michael Jackson gonna think? What? He's on like
what?
Okay, I'm sorry to sidetrack you, but that was funny.
Which was one of the big theories that everyone thought was going to be so true. That this is how we were going to get the X-Men mutants into the MCU.
That's probably
we were so sure of that. So sure of that.
Everybody, I remember when that episode came out, everybody's first reaction, this is the multiverse. And then like as episodes are going on, like, this may not be the multiverse.
What's going on? Because even in the 90s Halloween episode, just like the way she saw Vision in one episode, she saw her brother the same way, dead, gray corpse, and with the bullet holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Disney for the details of the bullet holes. And, so yeah, that was one of my big expectations that I'm just going to say it was a letdown.
Yeah, like it just anyway. So one of mine.
But
one of my I guess expectations, or I was like, I'm really hoping this happens, was that in some way or another we're gonna get Dr. You can go right to hell. That we're in some way or form we were going to get an appearance, either whether it be in an episode, like a small appearance, or in a post-credit scene of Doctor Strange, because like as the episode's going on and as you find out more in the last 2 episodes of WandaVision, that we got some witches running around this place.
Hey, bro, you can't say that.
And like I remember watching Doctor Strange, and like he's obviously the Sorcerer Supreme. In my mind, I'm like, okay, what's the opposite of a sorcerer? It's a witch, like, and there are obviously sorcerers in the world. They're obviously, so that by given there's witches, and that's the same thing. That's the thing that Doctor Strange is there for. He's the guardian of the Sanctum Sanctorum of New York. These sorcerers are here to, and they even say in Doctor Strange, to fight off these dark entities that want to take over our world.
I just guess I was like, entities?
Which, could be anything. And we even got Doctor Strange in Thor Ragnarok. And he's doing all his fucking magic, and and then someone calls Loki a witch, and just like it was right there, like you want to get into this? Okay, let's do it.
It's so sad. He's so sad.
We're gonna go. Okay, so last 2 episodes.
Obviously, hold on. So yeah, we got that episode. Another thing I want to point out too, even from the very beginning, I went back to kind of watch all the episodes again, just to kind of just rewatch stuff. And one thing through the beginning is that Vision does realize that there is something off about their way of life and the things that is going on. I mean, even from the very beginning of the episode when he's working and he finishes the paperwork and he's like,
what do we do here?
What do we do here? Like, he's already questioning everything. And in episode 6, he really goes deep into like trying to figure out what's going on, and goes like almost to like the what you would call like the outskirts of the town Westview. And in that point, everyone's kind of like on autopilot, where like they're so far out that they don't have to really interact so much, but that they're just on repeat doing something.
I also think that whole sequence where he's exploring and he sees, a car, Agnes's car parked out in the outskirts of this hex. It's good. I honestly believe now that was a setup by Agnes.
I told you that. I
It
told
was-
you that.
it was
I told you that.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, man. I don't know. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know.
I did tell you that. You know what? We'll go back to episode, I think it was 49. We discussed it.
Pause for rewind. Oh shit, you were right. Huh, okay, this fucking guy.
Yeah, told you.
Well,
I told you. All right, well, you know what? We're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be right back.
and we
are
back.
Such an exhausting week.
I'm just sad that WandaVision's over. Like, what am I gonna do next Friday?
Well, next Friday, you're just going to have to chill. Wait, what's going on next Friday? Next Friday is...
Snyder Cut.
No, that's the 16th.
What is time? I don't even know. Oh yeah, you're right. God damn it. Fuck. It's too far. What the hell are we gonna do? Okay, yeah, anyway. So yeah. So now, obviously we're gonna go into the last two episodes. Because we've been down to view 1, 2, but we've been dancing around it for a while. So, but
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I had a brain fart.
Or did you just fart?
I don't know. What are you doing?
They're trying to multitask here, with the multiverse. Dude, okay, so...
Episode 8. No, yeah, episode 8, right? There's 9 episodes?
Yeah, there's 9 episodes. This was the 9th one.
So
that was another thing that got debunked, too.
See, and I was getting so annoyed because I remember... after episode 6, they're like, oh, the next 3 are gonna be hour-long episodes, bruh. Let's go, yeah. And then we got the episode 7. It was 2 minutes long or something. And then we got the episode 8, and I was like, okay, this isn't. That's okay. We're done. That's it. It's a good episode, but I mean, fuck. And then people keep saying the last episode for sure, bro. It's 2 hours long. What are you talking about? Oh my god, where you getting this nonsense from? And it's just those things catch on. Just dude, no, they're not. I think this one was the longest. I'm not sure exactly the runtime, it was, but I think it was supposed to 50 minutes. But in my opinion, a little bit too long. But yeah, all those fucking theory. Oh yeah, bro, we're gonna get a mystery 10 episode, man, a 10th episode, bro. I mean, I know it in my guts, man. Shut up.
Who the hell are you talking to?
I don't know.
Dude. Yeah, I don't know. Weirdos.
It's actually me.
That was you.
It's actually a recording of me and talking to myself this fucking guy.
This dumbass.
From being drunk the night before. Ugh. I'm like Wanda after after Halloween. She's like, ugh.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So episode 8, obviously episode 7 ends with the big reveal of Agatha, and then so naturally at the start of episode 8 we get
and she killed Sparky too.
I mean, was there any doubt? You kind of had it coming too. The dog comes he starts licking a power outage. What are you doing? What are you doing? Did your dog lick a power outage?
No.
I mean,
why would they lick an outlet for? That's so weird.
Can't make this shit up. I mean, obviously you can, but
well, Marvel did, that's for sure.
Yeah, so she killed Sparky, and I remember watching everybody's like reactions, and that every single person's first line, "You bitch." It's like, oh shit.
Let's go through last 2 episodes. I know like I said, we were just gonna skip ahead. We were gonna get to full details. If you want full reviews on all the other episodes, go back to our other last 2 episodes. We really kind of dig deep into the other episodes.
Yeah, they're there. Go watch them.
And 50.
Go watch them. They're there waiting for you to click on them. Go watch them.
Episode 49 and 50, we really dig deep into it because that was like our main topic pretty much for everything that we were talking about. WandaVision was just the talk of everything because we didn't have anything else.
Well, there was that week where we just went on a Mortal Kombat binge. And when I say Mortal Kombat binge, we just watched the trailer over and over and over.
Well, not only that, but then we were going to talk about the trailer, and then WandaVision just took over.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we even rented the movie. You're like, oh yeah, dude, we talk about the movie and the first movie and the trailer and kind of compare them. Yeah, that didn't happen.
The movie's good, trailer's awesome. Let's move on. And then we even started watching.
One thing first, Reptile and Liu Kang fight was the best. All right, move on.
We even this is outside the episode, outside the show, but we even started watching Mortal Kombat Annihilation. This movie's so awesome.
Terrible. So terribly awesome.
Okay, so WandaVision episode 8. Sorry. Probably, in my opinion, one of the most gut-wrenching episodes and just like heartbreaking. Probably one of the ones that I like teared up multiple times. It's heavy, man. And it really puts into light how much Wanda has suffered in this universe. There's even one line that Agatha says, to her, dead parents, dead brother, dead vision. God damn.
Fuck.
And then so, and then also we get just like I said, a lot more, I guess, context in regards to Wanda, because we've always known from Age of Ultron that her and Pietro, lived with her parents, and the building got bombed. Parents died, obviously, and Wanda and Pietro survived, but they were trapped by a Stark bomb that didn't go off. And we get that scene.
Can we talk about that scene a little bit?
We get that scene.
That scene was so weird.
How? Weird how? You didn't like it?
Okay. You have this family having a family gathering. Granted, they're trying to make the place look, kind of like a refugee place, whatever.
With their HGTV? Nah.
No, Papa, you're supposed to speak English during family TV night.
Motherfucker, you got a war going on outside.
And then you jump to the scene where the mom's in the kitchen area and looks outside the window.
Right out the window, they're shooting guns.
There's fucking war out there, and it's what do you want to watch, Wanda? And it's what the fuck is going on here, man? Seriously?
I will admit that
was so weird.
And also another thing too, and I know me and you talked about it one night, and I was all like, okay, so more or less, what year or time frame would you say that particular scene took place?
When did Age of Ultron come out?
2016.
I wanted to say for her.
No, 2014. Sorry.
For her and being that small, and considering that it was Stark Industries, was the dad was already doing weapons.
So would you say late 90s?
I want to say it was late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, Malcolm in the Middle didn't premiere until 2000. So how do they have the DVD? And especially if it just came out, how do they have the box set DVD?
Yeah, but okay, but also at the same time, like some of the characters were supposed to play younger ages at the same time too. So like, I mean, come on, you had Andrew Garfield playing a high schooler. He was already in his 30s. Tobey Maguire.
Oh, I was like, Andrew Garfield's not in his 30s, man. Hey, man, leave Toby alone.
Ugh, we don't talk about that.
So yeah, that was one thing I was all like, okay, first of all, they're supposed to be like in this worn.
But I started going back though too because obviously, 1993 is when Tony Stark's parents were assassinated by the Winter Soldier, which we've discovered that in Civil War.
I'm loving your knowledge right now.
And Obadiah Stane took over until Tony Stark was ready and finished doing what he had to do. I guess his Ivy League schooling, and then even though he was still out partying, whatever. I mean, in 1993, he was still going to school.
Yeah.
So he hadn't even taken over the company yet. So maybe it was like mid 2000s, maybe like 2005, 2006 era.
Maybe.
Because
we didn't have DVD players in the 90s.
I mean, and at that, she's supposed to be how, like, at least 11, 12?
However old she is now, that's how old she is in the show. But yeah, people are like, yeah, like maybe she's like 10 or 11 when that happened or something. But yeah, it's just that's right now what we're doing is nitpicking.
Yeah,
really nitpicking, because if I'm being honest, like I said, this is my probably, if not my favorite episode, one of my favorite episodes of this whole series. Because like I said, like you and I both know that we're major fans of Age of Ultron, and that movie either gets crapped on for some reason or
just doesn't get enough credit for the things that opened.
Yeah, it's set up so much, and this show is like pretty much like that. This show is based off of that fucking, I guess, movie, because like I said, it's when he first gets Scarlet Witch and Vision, but
and we only get references from 2 movies, and like how they do like recaps on the show. We only get references from Age of Ultron and Infinity War. And even and the only ones we get from Infinity War is just when Thanos is going after Vision.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we finally get that scene with her parents and the whole bomb, and I don't know, like what when you first saw it, what'd you take away when she was like, she sees the bomb, it's beeping, and she's like, she starts doing the hand gesture, and then something pulls her out of it, and Agnes is convinced, like, you used
a hex tool.
Yeah, you used a
hex spell,
a probability hex, I think.
Probability, some kind of spell.
Yeah, you used a probability hex, like, and she's like, no, like I didn't, like it just never went off, and she's like, like, so what was your takeaway from that?
Okay, so my takeaway from it was, so obviously one thing is that, let's go back a little bit to Winter Soldier in credit scene. We get Strucker, and they're experimenting on people. They have the scepter. They have Loki's scepter, and one of the things that Strucker mentions is that this isn't the era, or this isn't the
this isn't Age of Heroes.
Age of Heroes.
Age of Miracles.
Age of Heroes or Spies anymore.
Yeah.
This is the Age of Miracles. At the time, the term miracles was taken, that meant for mutants because Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are mutants, which their dad was Magneto. Obviously, there was a conflict of that because of the fact that they couldn't use Magneto at the time because Magneto was Fox property, which Fox was X-Men, blah, blah, blah. And they couldn't even use the term mutants in the MCU, so they had to come up with another term for it, which they used Miracle. And then in Age of Ultron, we have it Enhance. Mm-hmm. So, in that episode, Wanda doing something, I feel that she had the power, but it just wasn't awakened yet. And she didn't know it. So I feel that she did stop it on willingly knowing that she did.
So you're on the train that like she's had some kind of ability.
She's had some kind of ability.
Okay.
And I even told you this, and hopefully you remember, and we won't have to do a rewind and go back to it. But I told you because then it jumps into the scene where they go through the other door, and on the door you have the Hydra symbol. So they go to the Hydra lab, and she's like I don't want to go there again. And she's like, you've already lived it once, So you go. Shows a couple of Hydra scientists, and then you get Wanda coming into a room, and the scepter's there, and they say walk towards the scepter. Not pretty much like that, but just kind of whatever. And
it's paraphrasing.
Then all of a sudden, the scepter starts shaking, and
the fucking stone presents itself to her.
Which I kind of had a problem with that as well because they didn't know in Ultron that the stone was in there.
Who didn't know?
Wanda and Pietro. When Ultron broke the scepter.
They didn't?
When he was creating Vision. He's like, humans only looking at the outside, not looking at what's within, and he breaks it, and that's when they find the Mind Stone in there.
Well, see, okay, well then again, like, who's to say that the events that took place in WandaVision, where the stone presents itself to her, she touches it, it opens, and she sees a glimpse of her future, which is, she sees the silhouette of a Scarlet Witch, and for us, we're like, oh shit, but like for her, like she's like, what the fuck is this? But even then, she's still not convinced that she has some sort of ability. Like, because even like she's like, I'm not a witch. I'm not like, what are you talking about?
And I know in this episode they're really trying to push the whole witch thing as well.
I think,
but just trying to go back to what I was thinking. Her being in that chamber with the scepter reminded me of Deadpool going to that facility to awaken his mutant powers. I believe the scepter helped her awaken her powers.
Because I mean, like from other material, whether it be movies or some comics, whatever, like mutants are born with their mutant ability. It just doesn't appear or present itself until like you're either under a bunch of distress or like I don't know, like it's mainly distress and like going through the shittiest thing possible for that thing to make itself known. And then that because like again that was one of the main for New Mutants, that's what that facility was for, was they didn't know what her ability was and they wanted to unleash it, and by doing that just causing her a bunch of stress.
That movie had so much potential, and then
it was good for what it was. So okay, yeah. So all right. So
that was my perspective on how she got her powers, and that she's always had them, but she just needed something to awaken. And we didn't get to see all the experiments they were doing on the subjects that were there.
Well, it's even said, and it's even said in the show and in Age of Ultron that Pietro and Wanda were the only two that survived.
And they were the only ones that volunteered.
Yeah, volunteered and they survived. Yeah, so like that's been put out there. So yeah, so we get the whole flashback scene of when the bomb goes off in her place. We get the when she comes in contact with the Infinity Stone. I love how Agnes knows what it is. Like oh, she's a witch. She's been around the block,
she's only been around since 1863.
So so like I like how she knows what it is, and then after that, and then Agnes opens up another door to another memory, and it's a memory of the first home that her and Vision ever shared, which was the Avengers compound, which we saw in Civil War. Their knees when that's when I was like, oh, like they're falling in love. I love this. Like when he was trying to make her dinner and all this stuff, and like I'm just like I love this like so fucking much, and then it's just crazy like seeing that, and then
he's
now
trying to make it feel homey for her as opposed to like
prison.
her being in prison in there.
Yeah.
Even though that she has freedoms to walk around the compound, but she can't leave the compound.
Yeah. So, and then like it just like even like in Civil War when her and Captain are talking and Vision just walks into the fucking wall. She's like, we talked about this. Like I love how this kind of scene happens. She's all like, he's like, oh, I didn't mean to get you. She goes, you didn't. She goes, okay, well I wanted to come in, and like he wants to talk to her. Like he wants to, because he sees that she's just fucking over it.
One thing I love with Wanda and Vision that they've always put out there, and you can even tell it was put out there in the scene of Age of Ultron when he retrieves Wanda, when Vision goes and rescues her. That chemistry they have together,
right? Because even before that, even when Vision first like is created, and he's talking to the Avengers, and like he's staying out talking to Thor, and she's just staring at him, just like they're planting the seeds, break our fucking hearts. So and that was probably one of the most touching scenes because, like, you see.
But I mean, what I'm also saying too is that their conversations are so deep.
That's what I'm saying, like, because you see like a glimpse of just like what they meant to each other, like, because he was just like, like, I know you've gone through this stuff, but it can't like be bad forever, right? He said, it can't be all be sorrow. And then he's just like, he starts explaining, like, I never lost anything because I never loved anything, like, and he's just like, he's talking through a perspective that hasn't experienced it, and he's
like the other thing too is like, in that scene where, they're showing her and him there and she's watching Malcolm in the Middle and they're talking, how does he say it? How can he perceive grief or
no he says he's after going everything he says, he's just, and that's what I'm saying, like the line that he says is such an innocent line because like not only does it ring true, but it's just like, and you could tell a lot of people never thought about that. And he says, like, but what is grief if not love persevering? And which is like love staying alive. Whatever love you had towards something that is gone, that grief that you feel is just more love that you can't control it. Like like you love something and it's gone and like what the fuck are you supposed to do? Forget about it? So like that's what I'm saying. Like that.
And the other thing too, Wanda's always envisioned herself as weird and that people
are afraid of her
and this and that, and that was the other thing I loved about Civil War is when he's trying to cook for her and he's explaining the stone to her and he's like, I don't know what this is, but yet it's feeding me all this information and things that I don't even know what it means and stuff like that. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. That they get into some like deep shit. It's like, dude, I want to smoke what y'all are smoking. Come on, give me some of that paprika.
And then, like,
even though it's just a seasoning, y'all, what's in that? What else y'all putting with paprika in there, dude?
So yeah, and then you just get that like scene, and like and then he starts watching TV. He's like, oh, like he laughs. He has a human emotion to something, but he's so like, wait, was that the right emotion? She goes, yeah, no, it's funny. He goes, okay, I'm just making sure like so fucking like, oh, my heart. And
because even just some of the stuff that he says too is like, even in Age of Ultron, he goes, well, I was just born yesterday. It's like, Like, you are so completely naive.
They really take Wanda through the grinder in this fucking episode, making her, not only her but you relive all the, not all, not relive, but kind of shows you what she lost. She lost her parents. She lost her brother. You know, she
lost her vision.
she lost vision. You know, and then okay, and then this goes back to another one of the fucking theories that we had. And I know me and you were like so dead set on this theory that we really wanted it to be true. And we'll get to that after this next break because I gotta go rush you.
All right, we'll be right back.
And we're back. We're gonna be talking about some more WandaVision, obviously. So we're just, again, trying to get through episode 8 because, like I said, like
so much stuff.
This is probably like one of my favorite episodes. Kind of like what we. And not only did it give us more context and more of an insight into Wanda's life and what she's been through, but it also gave us the truth in a sense, because we're here made to believe that thanks to Hayward, that Wanda stole Vision's body and basically has his dead corpse walking around, being reanimated, and like that scene in episode, I think 4, I think it was 5 or 6, where she actually sees the dead Vision, like, that's fucked up. But we come to find out that in this episode, what we thought was true was not, and she in fact did not take Vision, and it was all just a ploy by Hayward to make Wanda out to be this bad person, and also too, I think he's just also trying to understand why there's another Vision running around in Westview when he's like, I have the fucking body, like what is this, and and shit just really goes, like, hits the fan, like after she leaves the sword facility, whatever, and we see that she does not take Vision. Like, she jumps into her car, and who would have known Scarlett Witch drives a Buick?
A Buick? I thought that was a Camry. I thought she was driving some type of hybrid.
Why is she driving anyway? She can fly.
Prism.
What's she doing? Prius.
There you go.
Prism. Smart car. I just remember Adam Driver in that movie. So, and she drives to Westview in New Jersey. Drives through this, sorry, but dump of a town. Everyone just looks like me. Never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but like, I think one of the things too, like, that kind of like, because you see this town's kind of run down, but when you see, I'm just gonna call her Kitty from that 70s show. When you see Kitty, like she's just looks sad and like, oh, like, what the fuck's going on here? This town's run down, and then she goes to the plot of land that supposedly either her and Vision bought together or Vision bought for her. And I love watching the reactions. Everybody's like, when did they get this deed? I bet it was right after. And like, does it really matter? Like, does it really matter the time when they got this? Like, like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're fishing. Cut it out. So, and that was pretty heartbreaking. Like, like they planned on getting a house and this, and who knows what they were planning on doing with this town? Like, maybe they're kind of going there to help the town. You don't know. Like, and that just that was the breaking point. She sees that and all of it's gone, and she just breaks. And when I say break, I mean build, because she starts building a bunch of shit. Like, I told you, one of my favorite scenes in any MCU movie is the scene in Infinity War where Captain America and Thanos are like kind of like going at it, and he tries to like he holds his glove and he's just like kind of like impressed and he's just like screaming. Like the emotion in that fucking scene like gets me every single time. Now I have another one. Now I have fucking Wanda, Wanda Maximoff, like let's just in pain. And not only like she just creates a house, whether she knows she's doing it or not, like just the emotion came over her, and like that in itself invoked this power. Like, I said, I don't know if she meant to do it or it just kind of happened that way, because even then like she's just like, wait, what just happened, like after she she creates a house and she expands the barrier to Westview and turns everything back into 1950s, and then like she just, and then you see the yellow glow coming out of her, and that's when she starts doing that scream like, oh my god, like she's just like, and she creates a vision out of thin air. And then like I said, and after that, like she's just kind of like shocked to see him, and then it wasn't until she stepped into it, and then like she was in that black and white and all that stuff, and she was just kind of like gone, like, all right, well, I'm gonna live this life, because this seems much better than what I'm doing. That's heavy, man. Heavy stuff.
When I first saw episode 8, it wasn't my favorite at first until I saw it a second time, without the subtitles, and yeah, that scene in itself hit hard. I mean, because you just really, really get like a heartfelt of like everything that she's lost.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing too, going back to her being at the sword facility and her seeing vision, or Hayward showing her vision, and her at first not knowing what she's looking at, and then finally realizing what it is, and she breaks the glass and goes down to where he's at. Going back to Infinity War, was it Infinity War, where she's using her
this is before everything pops off, like,
and they're spending quality time together, and she just feels she says, I could feel you, and then she goes there to the sword where they have Vision's body, and then she's trying to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. She's like,
she says, I can't feel you, and then that's when she leaves. And then but that scene, her being in that lot, knowing what Vision had got for her, and what who knows what plans that he was having, or what not, and it just all built up, and it's pretty much kind of like what anyone could go through, but like with her, in this universe, and her being in this show, having powers, and then, not knowing your own ability, to what you could do and cannot do, and and then just going with it, not realizing like who you're hurting, because you yourself are already hurting.
Yeah,
so it was heavy, dude. I mean, in that episode, there's a lot of shit that not only goes through your mind, about what's going on in the show itself, but even like personally too, dude. It's just like shit.
yeah. And like it's pretty like like just that, like I said, that's probably why it's one of my favorite episodes, because I remember watching the other night, and it was just like, dude, like this part, like, oh, look at this part, and like and then of course we finally get the long awaited mention of her actual name, and she's outed out as being the Scarlet Witch,
which was set up in the middle of the season.
Yeah, it was. I'm glad that wasn't it. You know.
But like, so when they're in episode 4, after Monica Rambeau gets booted out of the show,
had like a briefing.
Yeah, they had like a briefing and everything, and Well, it was before she got kicked out. It was when Darcy Lewis and Jimmy Woo's characters, the characters of were figuring out what's going on and stuff like that. And so like Woo is giving a briefing of okay, this is
background on
this is what we know, Vision and Wanda Maximoff, and then fucking Hayward comes to like that's it, that she doesn't have no alias or no other silly little name. And he
does a lot of that because he did the same thing in episode 8, and he's just like, how many people have the ability to bring back their bring their loved one back online? She's just like, what? I can't do that. Can you? Like he put that idea in her fucking head, and that was like another like
I was just about to say
another nudge into the theory that me and you had.
He was another one that was a big disappointment too, and I'm hoping they still really haven't debunked it. I'm really hoping that it's
okay. For those of y'all who don't know, me and Steven have been just doubling down on this theory that because in the comics, or I know it's in the show, the cartoon, right?
Yeah. In
one of the cartoons, the Almighty Avengers, or I forgot which cartoon it is, but it's an Avengers cartoon.
Not the Almighty. It's Avengers Assemble.
In Avengers Assemble, director Hayward comes out I
don't think it's director Hayward, but it is a agent of a particular agency.
Yeah, like a head, like how he is, and it turned out to be Ultron
in disguise.
Yeah, in disguise. And I was like, dude, what if Hayward is Ultron in disguise? Like, because what was Ultron's, I guess, like not ultimate mission, but one of his things he wanted to do was he wanted to create a better version of himself. And that's, he created Vision. He's the one who got the vibranium. He created Vision. And like, and he even, I remember he even says like my creation, like what have they done to you? Like, and I was like, how awesome.
That's how Vision really got his name, because even though
my Vision.
Yeah, even though Tony Stark and Banner,
they were still gonna name it Ultron,
finished what Ultron started, they didn't really say who he was or what he was. They just said, "Oh, this is Jarvis in Jarvis 2.0."
Well, like
whatever.
even in Infinity War, like they're like, "Oh, it's a little bit of Jarvis, a little bit of Tony, a little bit of Ultron, a little bit of Banner." Like, and he goes, "But the best parts are still Vision." Like, no.
But it wasn't until Ultron, when him and Ultron are battling, and he goes, he even says, he goes, "My Vision. They really did take everything from me."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I was like, man, how badass would it be to come full circle that like this is all like Ultron's, like he's pulling the strings, because and at the end of this episode 8, we get a post credit scene, and it's Hayward, and this is after we find out that Wanda didn't steal Vision's body. Obviously Hayward still has it, and he rebuilt it, took it apart, rebuilt it, and he used some of the energy source that he had from the drone to power him up, and we get White Vision.
Dude, White Vision was fucking badass. I'm not gonna lie, he was fucking badass. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see more of him. Obviously, hopefully.
Yeah, I just think
there was a couple of things I did have some issues with, but I thought he was pretty badass.
I thought he was cool too. It's just like,
just some of his facial expressions were.
Oh no, yeah, he's creepy as hell. Like, he's giving off some creepy vibes. But like, okay, and I remember telling you after episode 8, I was like, dude, the final episode's gonna come up. We're gonna get Wanda. She's gonna be battling Agnes. We're gonna get Vision. He's gonna be taking on White Vision, and then hopefully we get Monica, taking on Quicksilver.
Got a little bit of that.
And we did get Vision and Vision fighting, and I had to say it is the most Vision fight you could ever envision.
I thought it was good. I thought it was pretty good.
It was a good fight, but like imagine two really smart synthezoids going together. Like, wait, what are we doing? Let's talk about this. Like, it's just so cool. Like,
and then not only just talk about this, let's have an intellectual talk about this. And what if you took
and not only have an intellectual, but also have time to explain that conversation to the audience. You know, like, wait, what's the what? Oh, that's what it is. I knew that all along. I knew it all along. You know, like, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, cool. What?
What did I just see?
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, episode 8, I loved episode 8. So much anticipation going into episode 9. Like they've opened up so many cans of worms in a sense, like, or kind of like, you know, open the door to many possibilities. And maybe like one or two of those possibilities were actually like played out, you know, like again, you know, so we'll get into episode 9, season finale. First thoughts. We watched it this morning together for the first time. What did you think?
I was a little underwhelmed on it. A little disappointed, but again, I had already saw something that, you know, the director or the creator had made a comment saying that fans are going to be very disappointed with the season finale. Mm-hmm. That a lot of theories are not going to go the way they wanted to.
You think we learn? You would think we learn after watching the new Star Wars movies. You think we learn?
You know, and he was not. He was correct. I mean, he was not off at all. I was very disappointed with a lot of things how things panned out.
Let me.
But after watching it a second time, I started appreciating it a little bit more for what it was and what we got. Or more what it was than what we got.
Yeah, and let me again say that however you feel about this last episode, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether it was disappointing, whether like, you know, you're okay with it, whatever, it does not take away the fact that this series in a whole was really fucking good. And with same thing as you, I was a little underwhelmed with the last episode.
You know, in a way, we did get a little bit of Doctor Strange in it.
Yeah.
She learned how to use her astral form, like the way Doctor Strange did when he was reading books.
Mm-hmm. Did she though? But they also name him. They also name Sorcerer Supreme, and we now know that she's stronger than him. But so. Yeah,
she didn't know how to cast spells, and she even admitted that.
I was a little disappointed. Like, again, I'm not disappointed because my expectations didn't come true. My expectations were like, we're gonna get Doctor Strange. Hopefully, Ultron comes into play. What the fuck's going on with Pietro? Is that something?
That one was the worst for me.
Who's Dottie? And also too, I have to say, I love Randall Parks. I love Kat Dennings. I think they were amazing in the show. They were terribly wasted in this last episode. Terribly. Yeah. Even Monica, in a sense, was wasted. Because the way they built up her character and to just like have her not really do anything except kind of like minorly display her powers, but even then, like, it's not like she knew she was doing it. Kind of like just happened.
Yeah.
I feel like they went into this last episode thinking we need a huge battle, a spectacle, a battle, and I just feel like we didn't need that. I got real bored of the whole battle.
I don't think we needed that. I think what we needed were reviews. I would have loved that when Hayward came in and Agatha Harkness, you know, saw him and would have backed off and would have been like, you know, have the soldiers try to, you know, take out Wanda, and then Wanda, you know, disengaged him, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's like you, I would have like a cheesy line like, "You will not take my vision away from me again," and then just.
That makes I dreamt about hearing James Spader's voice in this show. But
that's what I was just saying. Like, imagine if you just heard his voice. Like, still in human form, Hayward, but his voice changed,
and he's just saying lines from The Office. I am the Lizard King. But
keep dancing.
Like, and I just really hate to say that I just, not that I didn't like it. It's just it wasn't, not that it wasn't what I wanted it to be. There's just still so many unanswered questions.
Yeah, and and again, that was the point of the show, regardless, because originally the way the show was supposed to go was that, you know, right after the season finale, the next week is when Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness was supposed to come out.
I don't see it now. I'm just like,
but again, too, they added 2 more shows. We were only supposed to get 7 shows, I think. 6 or 7 episodes.
I didn't know that.
And then they added the last 2 because of the COVID or the pandemic, and then everything getting pushed back.
I didn't know that.
Just the same way with Falcon and Winter Soldier, we were supposed to get Black Widow first, then Falcon and Winter Soldier was going to come out because I guess something was supposed to connect to.
Yeah. It's supposed to have
but we're still going to get Falcon and Winter Soldier first, and then supposedly Black Widow is still supposed to come out in theaters in May, which who knows if that's still going to happen or not.
We're giving away shit's going now.
I mean,
I
mean, at this point, I mean, just do it. I'll fucking pay the $20 or $30 just to see it. You know?
Yeah, at home.
At home. I mean, I'll do it. I'll just fucking pay it. I just want to see it already. I just want to see it.
I won't pay for Mulan, but I'll pay for Black Widow.
I just want to see it already.
Come on, give it to us.
Come on, do it.
So, trying to think. Okay.
Another thing, though, dude, I really love that they did not waste Agatha. Yeah. Meaning, like, she has a potential to come out.
Yeah. Like, they didn't kill her off, is what you're saying. Yeah. They left that open because, and again, going back to the comics, a big theory that everybody had going into this, you know, like throughout the series, especially when her kids got introduced, were and especially with all the talk about devils and like for the children, like in the beginning of the
spawn
episode, like spawn of Satan, like all those little lines and shit, like
demon spawn,
demon spawn, like everybody's like, oh, that's Mephisto. It's Mephisto. I mean, you have Agnes, and you have the boys, which are created by Mephisto or something like that. Like they're in the comics, her sons are created by Mephisto, and they come from the hell dimension, you know, which is basically hell, but it's considered another dimension. And this episode, you know, post-credit scene, you know, after she's, you know, and that's another thing too, like the way shit ended with her, the kids, and Vision. And another thing too, I'm getting super like off like track, but another thing too is like we just saw you in the last episode like lose your shit over losing everything. Now you're losing Vision again for a 3rd time, and you're losing your kids, and now you're just okay with it. Like what? But again,
because I think this was her learning how to cope with it, and because again, like she didn't know what her powers were. She didn't know what potential or what abilities she had, and what consequences they would cause. So, you know, I mean, there was just so much. I mean, she was on, you know, unconsciously doing all these spells and not knowing what she was doing.
Yeah. I love how like Agnes is all like simple spell, takes years of practice, and you're doing it automatically. What the fuck? You know, like, what are you doing? And then the biggest letdown of them all, Evan Peters, who literally was just thrown away in this episode.
Yes, dude.
Thrown away.
Boner.
That was probably the funniest thing in the world. I'm just like, First of all, why did they give him such a boner name? You know, like they. And I was like, are they gonna say it? She goes, boner. I'm like, and I had to say boner. But I'm just like, dude, like
Ralph Boner.
I'm like.
Terrible waste. A terrible waste.
I have to believe that this casting was not made on accident. That
I still think
maybe
so too,
maybe it's the biggest troll ever. You know, like Disney's just trolling us like super bad.
Oh, man.
Like he thought it was a multiverse, not for another 6 years, bitches.
You thought mutants are coming.
All right. Yeah, I was just like, and then like I said again, Monica was kind of just thrown away. I get that the big, battle was between Vision and Wanda and Agnes, but it's just like, I don't know. I was just really just kind of like, that's how we're gonna end this. Okay, it's cool. I mean, I liked the last episode. Yeah, I don't know. I was just a little. It's not little. I was really underwhelmed.
I don't know. But again, like I said at the beginning of this episode, despite the way everything turned out and how a lot of our theories just got debunked, this show was so amazing. This show was so good. It did a lot of things. It hit a lot of points. It answered a lot of questions. It even hit you emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even from from episode 1 all the way to the last one. I mean, there are certain things that this really hits you hard.
Yeah.
It was this thing. This was probably one of the most smartest, complex. Oh my god! Like just so many things going on all at once. And again, I still feel this is like Age of Ultron, that this is also still just setting up so much more that we're just not seeing it yet.
I mean, obviously, because the next Doctor Strange is Multiverse of Madness. I'm just like, are we not at the madness yet? Like, the madness technically hasn't even started.
Well, I mean, again, that post-credit scene, her in her astral form. I'm still gonna go say it, her astral form.
Do you think it's an astral form?
Yes, because you see her sitting on the porch, and then she goes up to the pot, and then it goes into a room, and then she's there reading the book. What was it? The dark.
Dark Hide.
The book of spells, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she hears her boys again calling out.
I love that because it's just like, you're like thinking like, wait, how are her kids calling out? They're calling out from the hell dimension. Like they're now I'm a little more okay. If Mephisto comes, fine, but like
maybe in the movie, but
like maybe this is what opened up again. Because I remember when WandaVision first started, this show's gonna open up the multiverse. It really didn't. Okay. This post-credit scene is gonna open up the multiverse. Like,
I mean, it was mentioned. I think that's what will be the opening of it, but not like physically.
I mean, it was mentioned in Spider-Man: Far From Home, and that was I hated that so much. And Matthew, if y'all want to know Matthew's opinion, he was like, watching this last episode was watching the Mandarin scene from Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, man.
I think that was one of the most worst letdowns ever. That one I would never ever forgive, but I could forgive this.
Yeah. Because you can go back and watch it. It's a great show. Well, guys, we reached again. WandaVision, go check it out. I mean, this episode was dedicated all to that. Go check out the Redbud Blueberry Lime from Independence Brewery, and the two Tribal Sours. The Tribe Has Spoken beers, Raspberry Pink Guava and Blackberry from Roadmap. Links are in the description below. Support your local breweries.
Subscribe, follow us, like us, dislike us, whatever.
After this episode, we're gonna continue on to just watching movies and just talking shit. So, but I've had a lot of fun talking about the show, and can't wait to go back downstairs and watch the rest of it. But thank you guys for tuning in. Find us on Spotify. Find us on Instagram. Obviously on YouTube. And share with anyone your brief reading friends. And we'll see you guys next time. Ready? Cheers.